Hello everyone, welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you another great advanced lesson for all those advanced users out there.
That's right. This is a really, really useful lesson for all of our advanced users.
Exactly. You asked for a lesson about job interviews, and well, here we are. We're bringing you the first of 3 parts of the job interview series.
All right, so Marco, you said it is the first of 3 parts.
Right.
So tell me, what are these 3 parts?
Okay, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at preparing for a job interview.
Okay.
So everything you got to do before the job interview.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 will be talking about your education, your background, your work experience.
Okay.
And in part 3, we'll take a look at some of the common questions that are asked at a job interview.
And so we'll talk about some great ways to answer these questions.
Exactly.
All right, these 3 lessons will be coming out over the next month or so.
Exactly. So we're going to be looking at part 1 today. So let's take a look at some vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Well, we have 3 words here in vocabulary preview that you'll hear in the dialogue in a moment. And the first one is actually not really a word, but an acronym.
Right. CRM.
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 So Marco, you are our marketing guy. Tell us, what is a CRM?
Well, it's really common in marketing. It stands for Customer Relationship Management.
Okay.
Or Customer Relation Management. But basically, it's the relationship that the company has with its customers.
Okay.
So CRM basically has parts like feedback or customer support, problems that they might have, and also information about habits and likes and dislikes from their customers or users.
Okay, but I commonly hear this word used as a noun. So something like, can you check in the CRM?
Right, there is some software out there that's called the CRM. So Sugar CRM, or many different softwares, which basically manages your database of customers. Basically software that englobes this whole thing.
Okay, got it. All right, our next phrase in vocabulary preview, custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
So when something is custom designed,
it means it's a special design just for you.
So it's unique.
Right. That's what the word custom means.
Unique, like made especially for one person.
Right. So you have custom designed or also custom made. You see that a lot, for example, in cars, right? A custom made car.
Yes. Or maybe a custom built house.
A custom built house.
Yep.
With your specific likes and dislikes.
Yeah, your
color.
requirements. Yep.
Okay, and our last word, core values.
Core values.
Core values.
Core values.
So the core values of a company. What does the core mean, actually?
The center.
The center, right?
Yep. So, and here I think it's like the center or the most important.
The most important things the company believes in, right?
Right. So maybe respect for the environment.
Okay. Or developing their employees. Okay. So the core values,
Yep.
the main things that the company believes in.
A great phrase for job interviews.
Oh, yes. Very good phrase. Okay. So why don't we listen to our dialogue? Erica, what exactly is happening?
All right, we're going to be listening to 2 friends, and this guy is getting ready to go on a job interview. So his friend is helping him to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Wow, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom designed applications.
So what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
All right, so he was doing great, but in the end, he said something he shouldn't, right?
Yeah, I don't think talking about money as your primary motivation for coming onto a new company is
Yeah,
really the way
exactly.
to go.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's take a look real quick at some language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, in this lesson, we have 5 keywords for you from the dialogue, which we hope that you will remember.
Let's take a look at the first one. Undisputed.
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 So this is kind of a strange word. Let's listen to some examples before we explain it.
Example 1.
It's undisputed that she's the best person for the job.
Example 2.
The undisputed truth is that unemployment is rising. No one doubts that.
Example 3.
He's the undisputed champion of the world.
Well, I can understand from these examples that it means there is no doubt.
There is no doubt.
There's no
Exactly.
question.
Okay, now let's take a look at our second word, growth opportunity.
Growth opportunity.
It's a great growth opportunity
So it's an excellent chance to improve, right?
to improve professionally and also on a personal side, right?
Yeah. So talking about growth opportunities, we can also use the phrase a development opportunity
And it's the same thing,
Yep.
right? To develop, to grow.
to improve yourself.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our third word, read up.
Read up.
Read up.
Read up.
So when you read up on something,
Well, obviously you read it, right?
Right.
But you're reading it specifically for some information so you can know more about the subject.
so it's kind of similar to study, right?
Kind of, but really with the idea that you're trying to improve your knowledge about a particular field.
Okay. Now for our fourth word, unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Okay, so to unleash.
All right. Well, I'm going to paint a picture for you.
All right.
So imagine you have your dog, right? Mm-hmm. And your dog is walking on a leash, like it has a string or a rope attached to it.
Right.
So then when you undo the leash, you unleash the dog, and then what happens?
It goes around and it's running. And...
Yeah, it's going everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So if you unleash potential, you release it and let it go and help it.
Grow and become
Yes.
bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
So you give it freedom.
Uh-huh.
So potential is the capabilities or abilities that a person has, right?
Yes.
To do something great. Mm-hmm. Okay. Unleash potential.
This, I think, is an excellent word to use in a job interview. I think it is really descriptive and really powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good word. Okay, so let's take a look at our last one now. Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
So he mentioned this really resonated with me. So what does he mean by resonated?
I guess he means it connected to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It touched him.
So he agrees with this idea or he feels that he can relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think this one needs a few examples to really show its meaning.
Okay, let's listen.
Example 1.
The candidate's speech really resonated with the voters.
Example 2.
Their music doesn't really resonate with me.
Example 3.
Their commitment to fight global warming resonates with me.
All right, so it's clear now to resonate with, right? Okay, so why don't we go and listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and give you some great pointers about preparing for a job interview.
Okay, so let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Well, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom designed applications.
So, what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so, why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
Okay, so preparing for a job interview is really important, right?
Yes. Yep.
And we're going to give you some really basic tips about how you can prepare for a job interview.
Yeah, I gotta confess something to you, Marco.
What?
I love job interviews.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's really weird. Most people hate them, but I love them.
So you love being the interviewer or going to job interviews?
Both.
Really?
Yeah, I like everything about them. So I feel like I have a lot of passion to share with you about this.
All right, so let's take a look at the first point or the first tip that you can help us out with. So before you go to a job interview, you should do a little bit of research, right?
Right, and that's our first point. It's really important to know as much as you can about the company, their history, their product, their management style, just as much information as you can find out about how they work and what they do.
And why do you think this is important?
Well, basically, you'll be asked about it in the interview.
Right.
And so if you show that you haven't prepared, you haven't done any research, you show that you don't care.
One of the best ways that you can impress in a job interview is to show that you know about the company, that important things like you know what kind of products they offer or what's their largest market.
Yep.
And I guess that really impresses the interviewer because
Yeah.
it shows that you are interested in this company and they really want the job.
And that you are willing to do the extra work it takes to prepare yourself. Because I think that will show the interviewer that later on, when you're working for them, you'll do that extra work on the job.
Exactly. That's a really good point. So that's our first point, our first tip, to do some research.
Yes.
Now, you've done your research, you know everything about the company. What else should you do?
Once you've read up on the company, you've got to spend some time thinking about yourself. You've got to prepare to sell yourself to the company.
Okay. So to sell yourself, to really demonstrate them why you are the perfect person for the job.
Right, because a lot of people think about why they want to work for the company, right? Because they feel like they're aligned with the core values or the message of the company resonates with them. But what the interviewer really wants to hear is how you, the interviewee, is going to benefit the company. What are you going to bring to the company?
Right, and this is the most important part, is to know what are your skills, right?
Yes.
And it's not enough to just say, well, I am a great leader.
Yep.
Right? So if you are a great leader, you should be ready to give an example of how you have demonstrated to be a great leader, right?
Yes. All right, so maybe like an example, like I'm a really strong leader because in my previous job, I had the best JD Power ratings for employee satisfaction.
Okay. So you're actually showing with numbers or with
Yes.
facts that you are a great leader.
Yeah, so the key thing here, I think, is identify what your strengths and skills are. Think of specific examples. If you can, give numbers and show how you can bring this skill and your experiences to the new company.
And now, well, you're ready to sell yourself. You've done your research. Now you have all of these things in your mind. You have to practice.
Yes.
Right?
A much overlooked stage in the preparation.
Yeah, a lot of people think it through. They write things down, but don't really practice.
Yeah. So I know you have a few tips about how you can practice interviewing effectively.
Okay, well, the first thing that you should do is use your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
They gotta be good for something.
Exactly. And, well, probably your friends are also working at a company.
Yeah.
Maybe they're managers, or maybe they've interviewed someone before already. So you can set up a mini interview and have them pretend that they are the interviewer and ask you these questions, and you're trying to answer seriously. And I'm sure that your friends can give you some great feedback, maybe
Yeah.
what you did right, maybe what you did wrong. So that's a really good way. And another thing is also you can record yourself.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. If you have a video camera or even a many people have a webcam like right in your laptop. Record yourself actually doing the practice interview with your friend.
And this is really useful because you can later see what you recorded and detect some of the things that maybe aren't really useful or good. For example, posture is a really important aspect.
So what do you mean posture?
So the way that you are sitting down in your seat.
Yep.
How you are expressing yourself with your hands.
Yep.
Some people, they move a lot during the interview because, of course, you're nervous. So maybe they're moving from side to side or playing with their feet or playing with something on the table or moving their hands in an awkward way. So those are the things that you have to watch out for.
Yes. So I guess it's really important to sit up straight and to show that you are powerful and in control.
And another really great thing is eye contact, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
And why is eye contact so important?
If an interviewee maintains eye contact with me for like most of the interview, I feel like they have really good people skills.
In my opinion, I would say they have a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Right?
Yep.
Because if a person is looking down or not looking directly at you, it's either one of two things, in my opinion. It's either they are not confident enough with themselves or they are lying to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Or also they don't have good people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a problem in today's sort of knowledge-based economy.
Exactly. So it's really important to maintain eye contact. And one other really important thing related to eye contact posture is the handshake. When you get to the interview, it's really, really important to give a firm, good handshake.
So what qualifies as a firm, good handshake?
Well, you don't have to prove that you are ultra strong, right? So you don't have to squeeze the other person's hand really hard.
And like break their hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like a strength contest.
No.
A good firm handshake is squeezing normally, not too tight, not too loose.
Yeah.
But your entire palm, your entire hand has to be in contact with the other person's palm or hand.
Yes.
Don't give them the fingers, some people give you only 4 fingers or half their hand.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate it too. And this goes for men and for women because a lot of women do this.
Yep. I call this the dead fish handshake.
The dead fish. It is kind of like a dead fish or the dead hand handshake.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on this one. So, nice firm handshake.
Yeah. Firm handshake. And, well, these are our tips for preparing for the interview, everything you have to do before it. I'm sure there are a lot more things out there. And I'm sure our users have some insight on this as well.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it because like I told you, I love job interviews.
Yeah, so come to our website at englishpod.com. Leave us your comments. Maybe you've had a good experience with a job interview or maybe a bad one. Or maybe even as an interviewer, you've interviewed some really interesting people.
And you've got some great tips to share with us.
Exactly. So come to our website, leave your questions, leave your comments, share your experiences with our other users. And Eric and I will also be there to participate in the discussion.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you our great suspense, scary series.
Our thriller. New Guy in Town, Part 4. All right. Well, I don't want to give you any hints about what will happen in this dialogue.
Yes, it's totally unexpected. So let's listen to our dialogue and then we'll come back and talk about some of the great vocabulary.
All right, drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch! You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois. We know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me!
Run!
Well, I certainly didn't see that one coming.
I know everyone thought that Armand was a vampire.
I know.
And now it turns out that they were acting.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy, huh?
Strange things happen here on English Pod.
All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the language that we saw in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Well, we have 3 words for you here that we heard in the dialogue. And the first one, Armand tells Ellen to drag her over here.
Right, drag.
Drag.
So when you drag something or somebody,
You pull them across the floor or pull them across the ground.
pull them, but you don't actually pick them up, right?
No.
Right?
Yeah. Their body is still touching the ground.
Okay, so just imagine if you have a really heavy suitcase, it doesn't have any wheels, you gotta drag it across the floor.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been there.
Yeah, it's happened to me too.
Yeah.
So drag.
All right. And then he says, tie her up.
Tie her up.
Tie somebody up.
So to tie somebody up.
To use rope and put it around a person so that they cannot move.
Right. So you take rope, you tie a person up. And it's always used like this, right? Tie somebody up.
Yes.
Tie
exactly.
him up.
Tie that up.
Tie that up.
Yeah.
Okay. And our last word.
I like this one. Fools.
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 So, or singular would be fool.
Yeah. Fool.
So what's a fool?
Well, a fool is a stupid person.
Right, a person that doesn't know
Yes.
something,
Yeah.
or an ignorant person.
All right. Well, Lois thinks that Armand and Ellen are fools here.
Exactly. Apparently she got really angry and managed to escape
Yes.
from the chair or whatever where she was tied up, right? Well, the dialogue was a little bit fast. There was a lot of sound effects as well.
Yep.
So let's listen to this dialogue again. We're going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit easier to understand.
All right, drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch. You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois, we know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me!
Run!
Well, Marco, I noticed in this dialogue, there's a lot of words and phrases that we can use to talk about lying or fooling somebody.
Exactly. There is a lot of language about lying. So let's take a look at it in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
All right, so in Fluency Builder today, let's take a look at 4 phrases. The first one, fell for it.
Fell for it.
I can't believe she fell for it.
Fell for it.
Okay, so it's not that she physically fell, right?
No.
Okay.
But she believed the lie.
She believed the lie. You fell for the lie.
Yep.
I know that we have some examples so we can understand this phrase, fell for it, a little bit better.
Example 1.
He might seem like a nice guy, but don't fall for it. He's a jerk.
Example 2.
I can't believe I fell for your lies.
Example 3.
I told my mom I was going to the library, and she fell for it.
All right, well, that's a lot clearer to me. I noticed that we have the preposition it here.
Yeah, it is at the end, and it's referring to the lie.
Yes.
Or the joke. Or the story.
Yep.
She fell for the story, but you wouldn't say she fell for the story. You would say she fell for it.
Yes, so these 3 words always go together. Fell for it. So don't forget the it.
Don't forget the it. Okay, let's take a look at our second word. Gullible.
So Ellen thinks that Lois was gullible.
Right, a gullible person.
Yeah, gullible.
A gullible person is somebody that always believes.
Yes, they always fall for it.
They always fall for it.
Yep.
They believe anything you say. So I know you were a little bit gullible when you were younger, right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? My grandmother used to tell me every year, she would say, "Oh, I'm 35. I'm 35." And I really believed her until I was about 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were really gullible.
Really gullible.
But you're not anymore.
No, I know better.
All right, so gullible, a gullible person. Okay, now let's look at the next phrase. The cat's out of the bag.
The cat is out of the bag.
The cat is out of the bag. Okay, so again, it's not literal. It's not like you had a cat in a bag and
No.
you let it out, right?
A nice idiom here, meaning the truth is out.
The truth is out. We discovered the truth.
Yes, so imagine that the cat is the truth.
Right, and it escaped.
Yes.
Okay, so the cat's out of the bag. The truth is out. We know the truth now.
Yep.
Okay, and our last phrase, pretending.
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 So Lois was pretending to be a normal housewife.
Let's listen to some examples of how we would use pretending.
Example 1.
Pretend that you're my boyfriend and he'll go away.
Example 2.
I can't believe Lucy pretended to be sick.
Example 3.
You forgot my birthday. Don't pretend that everything is okay.
Okay, so pretending is acting like you are somebody that you are not.
Yes, or yeah, it's sort of like acting a lie.
Okay, so for example, on Halloween, everyone dresses up as a monster or Spider-Man or
Yep.
something. So everyone pretends to be that character,
Yes.
but they are not.
Yes.
Okay, pretending, to pretend.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
All right, drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch! You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois, we know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me!
Run!
Okay, so what do you think will happen in part 5?
I have no idea.
Well, what do you guys think will happen in part 5? Apparently, Armand isn't a vampire anymore,
But Lois is a witch.
but Lois is a witch.
Who's Ellen? What sort of
Ellen.
twist are we going to see here?
Is she an alien?
Oh my God.
We don't know what will happen, but you can tell us what you think will happen. Come to our website at englishpod.com and leave all your questions and comments and maybe your story ideas.
Yes, Marco and I are always around to answer your questions and to respond to your comments. So,
Okay.
guys, I think we're out of time for today, but thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco,
And I'm Erica.
and today we're swimming.
That's right. A nice summertime lesson
A
for
summertime
everyone.
lesson.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be talking about swimming, and, well, it's a very popular sport, right?
Yeah, so this is another lesson in our sports series.
In our sports series. Okay. So why don't we preview some of the language we'll find in the dialogue?
Vocabulary preview.
All right, we have 2 words to look at here. The first word is sailing.
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 Well, this is the verb to sail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sailing is traveling in a boat.
In a boat with no engine.
Right. So you must use the wind to push you forward.
Exactly. That's a sailboat.
Yes.
Okay, so sailing. Mm-hmm. Now let's take a look at our other word. Anchor.
Another boat word here.
Yeah.
Anchor.
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 Now, it's spelled Anchor.
Right.
But you don't pronounce the CH as you normally would, right?
Another one of these really difficult to spell English words.
Right. So you don't say anchor, you would say anchor.
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 So the anchor is a verb and a noun.
That's right. Well, when anchor is used as a noun, it means the hook that you throw over the boat into the water, and it keeps you staying in the same place.
Okay. But the verb to anchor,
Yes.
what does it mean?
To do that.
To do that, right? So to throw the anchor into the water, you would just say to anchor the boat.
Exactly. To keep it in the same place.
Okay. Great words related to sailing. But now let's listen to our dialogue for the first time. What's happening here, Erica?
Well, we've got 2 friends here who are sailing in their boat, and they decide to take a swim.
Let's see what happens.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer. The shark is coming straight towards me.
It's right under you. Kathy!
All right, so a shark attack.
I know. This is my worst fear when swimming.
Really? In the ocean, right?
Yeah. Well, also in the lake, but
No sharks in lakes.
I know, but I'm still afraid of them.
All right, so don't worry about it. I'm sure the girl is okay. It's probably not a shark. Maybe it was a dolphin.
Yeah, or maybe she's going to punch the shark in the face and she'll escape.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the words that we saw in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
We have 3 excellent swimming words for you. The first one is doggy paddling.
Doggy paddling.
Doggy paddling.
So, doggy paddling. It's not really a proper way of swimming, right?
No, you don't see this in the Olympics.
So, if you've ever seen a dog swim, that's why they call it doggy paddling.
Right, you're sort of moving your hands quickly in front of you.
And your legs are all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're basically not really swimming, you're just trying to stay afloat. You're
Yes.
trying not to drown.
Trying not to sink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so doggy paddling.
Again, this can be a noun or a verb. The doggy paddle, this swimming style, or doggy paddling, the verb.
Okay, interesting. All right, let's take a look at our second swimming style.
Breaststroke.
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 The breaststroke. How is this one?
Well, it's sort of like swimming like a frog.
So you have your legs that are similar to like a frog, right?
Yeah.
And what are your hands doing?
Your hands are moving in front of you together, then out towards the side.
Okay, so
So-
you're kind of doing like circles,
Yeah, half circles.
half circles. Okay, breaststroke.
Yeah.
But you get kind of tired when you swim like this, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Now let's take a look at our third word. Backstroke.
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 So this one's pretty easy. Backstroke, you're
Lying on your back
lying on your back.
in the water.
And you're kicking your feet as well.
Yep.
But what are your hands doing?
They're going back behind you. See, I'm doing it now. Can you see?
All right, if you guys could be here in the studio, you would see Erica doing her backstroke.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue again, and then we'll come back and look at some great phrases.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer! The shark is coming straight towards me!
It's right under you. Kathy!
Okay, so we have some really good phrases related to swimming and water.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at these in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
All right, the first one. I love this phrase. Take a dip.
Take a dip.
Take a dip.
So if I say I'm going to take a dip,
You're going to have a quick swim.
a quick swim.
Yep.
So you can take a dip in the pool,
Yep.
in the lake,
In the ocean.
in the ocean, even in your bathtub, right?
No.
No?
No, it's just for swimming. Unless your bathtub is really, really, really big.
All right, so not for the bathtub, but for swimming.
Yep.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our second phrase. For a little while.
For a little while.
For a little while.
For a little while.
This is really common. I use this a lot.
Yeah, me too. I probably use it 500 times a day.
Okay, so let's listen to some examples with for a little while, and then we'll come back and explain it.
Example 1.
I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down for a little while.
Example 2.
It will only hurt for a little while.
Example 3.
Do you want to play tennis for a little while?
So it means for a short time.
For a short time. And you can change it, right? You can say, oh, I'm going to play for a little while.
Yeah. Or I'm going to sleep for a little while.
Uh-huh. For a short time.
Yep. All right. So if learners use this phrase, I find it sounds really, really great because it's not something that students normally use.
Yeah, I guess a student wouldn't really use this phrase normally.
Yeah. So guys, use it because you'll sound awesome.
Yeah, you'll sound really, really fluent. Okay, and let's take a look at our last phrase. Straight towards.
Straight towards.
Straight towards me.
Straight towards.
Okay, so straight means directly.
Right. In a line.
In a line, not going anywhere else, but directly.
Yeah, not moving side to side.
And towards is in that direction. Mm-hmm. So the shark was coming straight towards me. It's coming directly at me.
Moving in a line and not moving side to side.
Okay. So can you give me another example of how you would use straight towards?
Watch out! There's a car coming straight towards you.
Okay. Directly towards you.
Yeah. Or maybe when I get home from work, I go straight towards the fridge.
Really?
Yes.
I believe this. All right. So straight towards, directly. Okay, so we've looked at a lot of great words, really good phrases. Let's listen to this dialogue one last time, and then we'll come back. And Eric is going to tell us a really great story about boat.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer! The shark is coming straight towards me!
It's right under you. Kathy!
All right. Well, Marco, I was telling you that I used to spend every summer on the lake. Mm-hmm. And my family had a really small house on a small island. Mm-hmm. And my cousins had another small house on another small island.
Okay.
So our families are really close, and we used to go to one house for dinner one night and the other house to dinner the next night. So everyone was over at my cousin's house except for my grandfather. And so he was thinking, okay, it's late. Maybe I better go pick up my wife and see what's going on. So he goes into the boat. It's dark.
Okay.
There's no light on the boat. He's driving straight towards the island when suddenly my cousin in his boat drives directly into my grandfather.
So they crashed.
They crashed.
Two boats crashed in the lake.
Yeah, and then my grandfather's boat flipped over. It turned upside down.
Wow.
And he fell in the water.
But he was okay, right?
Yeah, he was okay, but you know what? He was really angry about this.
And the boat?
The boat stayed in the water, and you know the engine fell down to the bottom.
Oh.
So we had to go the next morning to get the boat, and we actually had to hire some scuba divers to go to the bottom of the lake to get the engine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine your grandpa was pretty angry.
Yeah, he tells the story
Every year.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I've got a million of these crazy lake stories because my family.
It always happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, do you have any crazy stories or any stories related to boats or to swimming
Or to shark attacks.
or shark attacks?
Yeah.
So come to our website, englishpod.com. Leave your stories, share with us. And also, if you have any doubts or questions, Erica and I are always there to answer.
Well, we're out of time for this lesson, but until next time, goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
A swim.
A dip.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Let's try that faster. Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
A swim.
A dip.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Sail. I've never been sailing before. Sail. I always get sick when I go sail. Did you watch the sailing race? Let's anchor the boat. I dropped the anchor over the side of the boat so we won't float away. We can't anchor here because there are power lines under the water. I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down for a while. It will only hurt for a little while. Do you want to play tennis for a little while? It was so hot that we took a dip before lunch. Stephen and Nellie are taking a dip in the lake. Do you want to take a dip in the pool? Straight towards. Swim straight towards the shore. Straight towards. The boat is coming straight towards us. Straight towards. We're driving straight towards the cliff.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be bringing you the second part of our job interview series.
That's right. So this is an advanced lesson, and we're going to be talking about educational background and experience.
Right. So in the first part, we saw preparing for a job interview. Now we are at the job interview, and we're just going to be talking about your educational background and your job experience.
That's right. And the language we're going to learn is going to focus mostly on these two areas.
Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at some of the difficult words before we listen to the dialogue in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so we're going to talk about a few common words that have to do with education. Now, the first word, I think we might know this one, but there's a little trick to it. So the first one is major.
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 So, yeah, I guess everyone knows what a major is, right?
Yeah, it's the main subject that you study in university.
Right, so you can study business as a major or...
history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but you can also use it as a verb, right?
That's right. I majored in history.
Majored in. So usually it's followed by the preposition in.
Yes, always, in fact.
Okay.
When used as a verb, I majored in science.
I majored in business.
Yes.
Okay, so you can say my major is business administration or history, or you can say I majored in business.
Yeah, and the same pattern applies to minor.
Okay, so minor, this is really interesting because this is more common in English-speaking countries, right?
That's right.
So what exactly is a minor?
Well, just like your major, but smaller.
Okay.
So if you major in history, maybe 60% of your classes are in history, and you minor in French, maybe 30 or 40% of your classes are in French.
So basically, you can have two subjects in your degree. You can have a major in business with a minor in art.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
All right, and another two simple words, a bachelor's degree.
Bachelor's degree, okay.
A bachelor's degree is what you get after going to university for 4 years.
Okay, so a bachelor's degree, after 4 years, you get that.
Yep.
After that, you get a master's degree.
Right. So that's another 2 years after your bachelor's degree.
Okay, and I guess a master's is more focused on an area, right?
Yes, more specialized.
More specialized. And then the highest degree you can get is a PhD.
Exactly.
Which is a philosophy doctorate, right? But you're not actually getting a degree in philosophy.
No, it could be in international relations.
Okay. But this is really hard to get. You have to go to school for another 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of research and Not many people have it.
Yeah. Anyway, some simple words, but you know what? It's quite unique to the English-speaking world, this system. So we thought we'd bring it to you now.
Right, perfect. So now let's listen to this guy who is at an interview, and he's going to be talking about his education and work experience.
Thanks for coming in today. Did you have any trouble finding us? Please, take a seat.
Thank you.
So, let's get started. Tell me a bit about your educational background.
Sure. Well, I graduated with honors from Chesterton University with a major in business administration, with a specialization in information management, and I minored in psychology. I chose this course of study for 2 reasons. I wanted to gain some practical, marketable skills, which the information management track provided, and I also feel that the interpersonal skills are essential for professional success, hence the minor in psychology.
Interesting. And your postgraduate studies?
Well, I am really passionate about consumer behavior, so I pursued a master's in that area. I also strive to keep my professional skills current, so I continuously attend seminars and conferences related to management and customer service.
Very good. Now, tell me a little bit about your work experience. I see here that you previously worked at Oracle.
Yeah, I worked as their customer support manager, which brought me a breadth of experience in both client care and process management. I supervised and coordinated the customer support team as well as implemented new strategies to achieve better customer satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yes, in this position, I was able to make some pretty significant contributions to the overall success of the company. With the different initiatives that we implemented, we lowered our churn rate to about 5%, which had a direct impact on revenue.
Well, those are some pretty good answers to those questions, but I don't know, Marco.
There was a little awkward moment. I don't know if you guys heard it. Natural body... What's it called? Functions.
Yeah.
So,
oh, dear.
Well, making the interview a little bit more interesting, right? It doesn't have to be boring.
Exactly. But what is really interesting is some of the language he used to describe his educational background and work experience. So let's look at that now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so in Language Takeaway today, we have 7 words that we want to focus on before we give you some tips about doing well on a job interview. So let's take a look at the first word. Course of study.
Course of study.
Course of study.
A course of study.
So what is a course of study exactly?
Basically, it's like a plan of study or a path of study.
Okay, so his course of study was...
Business administration.
Exactly, so that is his course of study. Mm-hmm. Now let's take a look at our second word. Track.
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 So he said he wanted to gain some practical, marketable skills that the information management track provided.
Exactly.
So what does he mean by this track?
Again, basically, if the track of study is like the path of study.
Okay.
So the direction of your study.
Okay, so I guess it would be like, think of a train and the train tracks, right?
Exactly.
Where the train travels. So that's where it's taking you. That's the path that he followed or you should follow or you want to follow.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now let's take a look at our third word, and it's a really nice conjunction. Hence.
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 H-E-N-C-E. Hence.
Hence. So it sounds fancy, but
Yes.
what
Really
does it
simple.
mean?
So. Therefore. Yeah.
Right. So you can use it as a conjunction between 2 ideas. So he said, what would be an example of how you could use hence?
You could say the economy is doing poorly, hence people are losing their jobs.
Okay. Hence. So therefore, in consequence.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
But it just sounds a lot more like professional.
Formal.
Formal.
Yeah.
Okay. So try and use this conjunction hence, right? Instead of saying so, therefore.
Yep.
Use it. Okay. Our fourth word.
Pursued.
Pursued.
He pursued a master's.
Okay. So to pursue.
to chase after something.
To chase
Rawr.
after. So you can pursue a master's degree like he did.
Yes, you can pursue a promotion.
A dream.
Nice one.
Can you pursue a girl?
Yes, you can.
All right. So pursue to chase.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at our next word, strive.
Another great word you can use when talking about your experience. To strive is to try really hard.
To try really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we have some examples for strive.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
Example 1. At our company, we are always striving to improve our services.
Example 2.
He really strived to get a new job and his work paid off.
Okay, great examples of strive, to fight, to try really hard.
Yep.
All right. Okay, now the next word, I didn't really know what it meant, so this is really interesting. Breadth.
Breadth.
So it's kind of like saying bread, but adding a TH at the end.
Yeah.
Breadth.
Breadth of experience.
Okay, so this basically means it's wide.
Exactly. So when you have a great breadth of experience, you have a wide variety of experience.
Okay, so maybe in different fields or in different jobs. So
Yep.
you can have experience like in marketing and in a little bit in finance and a little bit in management.
Yes, a breadth of experience.
All right. All right. And now for the last word, it's actually 3-in-1.
A 3-in-1 deal.
A 3-in-1 deal. That actually they are very related.
Okay.
Right? So when he talked about his work experience, he was saying he supervised and coordinated the customer support team.
Okay, so he watched over, right? And made things work together well.
To coordinate.
Yes.
So these are really great verbs that you can use when you're talking about your job responsibilities.
Yes.
I supervised.
I coordinated.
And he used another really great one that said to implement.
To implement, to make something happen, to put it in place.
Right? So he implemented new strategies.
Implemented new policies.
Okay. To set in action.
Exactly.
All right. So a lot of great vocabulary, a lot of great stuff, and well, you can use it for when you are at a job interview. So let's listen to this dialogue again. And when we come back, we're going to give you some tips so you'll do well in this part of the job interview.
Thanks for coming in today. Did you have any trouble finding us? Please, take a seat.
Thank you.
So, let's get started. Tell me a bit about your educational background.
Sure. Well, I graduated with honors from Chesterton University with a major in business administration, with a specialization in information management, and I minored in psychology. I chose this course of study for 2 reasons. I wanted to gain some practical, marketable skills, which the information management track provided, and I also feel that the interpersonal skills are essential for professional success, hence the minor in psychology.
Interesting. And your postgraduate studies?
Well, I am really passionate about consumer behavior, so I pursued a master's in that area. I also strive to keep my professional skills current, so I continuously attend seminars and conferences related to management and customer service.
Very good. Now, tell me a little bit about your work experience. I see here that you previously worked at Oracle.
Yeah, I worked as their customer support manager, which brought me a breadth of experience in both client care and process management. I supervised and coordinated the customer support team as well as implemented new strategies to achieve better customer satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yes, in this position, I was able to make some pretty significant contributions to the overall success of the company. With the different initiatives that we implemented, we lowered our churn rate to about 5%, which had a direct impact on revenue.
All right, well, I want to talk about 2 main things. And the first thing I want to talk about is how you address this question about your educational background. Like, what is the interviewer looking to find out?
Okay, perfect. So when you are talking about your educational background, you shouldn't only talk about your college degree, right?
Yep.
You should also talk about any type of training that you've had.
Yeah, I think it's really important to let the interviewer know that you're continually trying to update your skills and improve your knowledge. So any sort of courses or seminars that you might attend, this is a great chance to highlight those.
And that's what the interview is looking for, right?
Also, any trade publications, any magazines that you read related to your job is a great way to sort of highlight your desire to keep learning.
Well, I think that's really important because it's good that you went to a good university, you got this degree and everything, but continuously training yourself, and maybe just by listening to business podcasts or reading specific magazines or stuff like that is demonstrating that you care about what you do and that you are continuously learning, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so those are the main things to talk about in your educational background. Now, when this work experience question pops up, what should you really say?
When you're answering this question, I think there's something really important to keep in mind.
What's that?
You want to make sure that you're being as specific as possible, right?
Right, so giving examples of what you've done.
Like really specifically what you did, all of the sort of the main achievements you have.
Okay, so like for example, we saw in our dialogue that he talked about specific strategies that he implemented to improve customer support in that company.
Right, and he gave some numbers.
Right, he said, he lowered the churn rate to about 5%.
So it's so important whenever you can attach a number to your success or your achievement, to be able to do that in the interview really demonstrates your achievement.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And another thing when you're talking about previous jobs is make sure you keep it on a positive note. Right? Even if your experience was not very good or you didn't like the company or you had problems, you should avoid talking about that and always keep it on a positive note.
Right. So if the interviewer asks you why you want to join this company, why you're looking to leave your current job, you want to give these positive reasons.
Right. You don't want to say, well, because my boss was a jerk or I didn't like the company anymore. You should answer it with something positive like, well, I think I need a change, or this job opportunity is more aligned with what I want to do in the future, etc. Yeah, so positive always on your interviews, and just, again, prepare for these questions that are always going to be there.
Yes.
So, Erica, I know that you've done a lot of interviews, and I understand that you've had a really weird question.
Yes. In an interview, I once got this question. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I really was asked that question.
What did you answer?
I think I said that I would want to be a willow tree because they're really beautiful.
Was that the right answer?
I don't know. Like, what are you supposed to answer to that question? I really don't know what the right answer was.
Well, some people, they'll ask you just, I don't know, random questions just to see what your response is. I think also maybe it's just how you deal with the pressure
or with the unexpected questions.
Right. So it's like that is pretty unexpected though. But I guess you handled it pretty well.
Okay. Well, I mean, I got the job. So
nice. Yeah. All right.
All right. I want to know from our listeners, if they were a tree, what kind of tree they would be.
Yeah. And also tell us about, your job experience or your educational background. Well, I know, for example, that I've had a lot of different types of jobs. I've even been that person that gets on the bus and charges people the money.
I know.
It's
you've had every job under the sun.
So, but it's great. So tell us, what's the weirdest job you've had? What's the craziest or the best job? Or any experiences?
Yes. So visit our website, englishpod.com. Leave your questions and comments there on the website.
And we'll definitely be there to answer them. And we hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. The history of the education you've had.
Educational background.
With special recognition for receiving very high marks.
With honors.
The main field of study in an undergraduate degree.
Major.
A limited area of study.
Specialization.
To have a secondary area of study in an undergraduate program.
Minor.
The combination of courses taken in a degree program.
Course of study.
Course of study.
Track.
Master's or PhD, education above the bachelor's degree level.
Postgraduate.
For that reason.
Hence.
Try to do something over a longer period of time.
Pursue.
Try hard to do something.
Strive.
A wide range or scope of something.
Breadth.
Important and large enough to have a noticeable effect.
Significant.
Adding or giving something.
Contribution.
University education.
Tertiary education.
Take the chance to do something before others do.
Take initiative.
Make something different in a special way.
Distinguish.
A good quality or feature that someone has.
Attribute.
Examine something in a careful and critical way.
Scrutinize.
Let's try that faster. Take the chance to do something before others do.
Take initiative.
A good quality or feature that someone has.
Attribute.
To have a secondary area of study in an undergraduate program.
Minor.
With special recognition for receiving very high marks.
With honors.
The history of the education you've had.
Educational background.
Try to do something over a longer period of time.
Pursue.
Course of study.
Track.
Master's or PhD, education above the bachelor's degree level.
Postgraduate.
For that reason.
Hence.
University education.
Tertiary education.
Adding or giving something.
Contribution.
The combination of courses taken in a degree program.
Course of study.
The main field of study in an undergraduate degree.
Major.
A limited area of study.
Specialization.
Try hard to do something.
Strive.
Important and large enough to have a noticeable effect.
Significant.
Make something different in a special way.
Distinguish.
Examine something in a careful and critical way.
Scrutinize.
A wide range or scope of something.
Breadth.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Course of study. I chose this course of study because it offers a wide range of work opportunities. Course of study. I want to change my course of study before the next semester starts. Course of study. My sister didn't choose her course of study. My parents decided for her. Pursue. They wanted to pursue their dream of traveling around the world, but it didn't happen. Pursue. My mother wants me to pursue a career in law. Pursue. You should really pursue that master's degree. It would really help your career. Strive. If you want to be successful, you must strive to achieve your goals. Strive. We strive to bring you outstanding customer service. Strive. Our company always strives to make our products better and better. Hence. The project was a complete failure. Hence, the project manager was fired. Hence. The project was postponed for 3 months, hence the delay in delivery. Hence. I never studied for my exams, hence my low marks.